Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Alaska Airlines, 80 nonstop destinations and growing. By your local Ford stores. By the Emerald Queen Casino presenting Sinbad September 25th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. And by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. Beautiful look at Lake Calhoun. A pleasant night here in Minneapolis for game one of this four-game series against the Twins. We'll take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. And tonight we focus on the American League wild card. And Mike, things are getting awfully close right now.
Well, they are. And actually, we just saw the other day the Angels were leading the West, and it was Houston sitting there at the top. But now it's the Angels again. The Twins really fighting hard. They've been struggling as of late. They're trying to get things turned around.
The Mariners haven't seen the Twins since late April, and both these teams are very different since that point. What are you seeing right now to the Twins, Mike?
Well, I think, one, their starting pitching is solid. Everything else across the board, they're pretty much in the middle of the pack in the American League. They do hit a few more triples because of this ballpark. Their bullpen has struggled as of late, including the great closer and the all-star closer that they have. The last four games that they have lost, it's been late in games. It's been big numbers. The Mariners need to hang in there, even if it's a tight ball game, to try to get to that bullpen. Twins
coming off a two-game interleague sweep here at home against the Pirates. They're starting to file into Target Field. We've got game one of this four-game series against the Twins coming up. Now the Mississippi River taking us inside Target Field as we begin the series here tonight against the Minnesota Twins. Phil Hughes up on the mound, and he starts things off with, no surprise, a first pitch strike. Mariners entering tonight 5-8 since the All-Star break. Shot to right field towards the high wall. Hunter back into the corner and a foul ball. Mariners coming off a 2-4 homestand. Of course, the three-game sweep in interleague play against the Diamondbacks. And a chance to start things off on the right foot here tonight in game one of the road trip, and against a team that the Mariners have not seen for some time. Late April, the last time these two teams met up back at Safeco Field. Mariners saw Phil Hughes in that series against Felix. And really, Mike, the offense for the Mariners on the homestand overall really delivered. The Mariners hit .270, an OPS of over 800 or right around there in those games. It was the pitching, unfortunately, a little bit of a surprise that was a struggle for the Mariners.
No, you're right. Hopefully they'll get back on track.
Deep center field and high off the wall. Aaron Hicks has to find it there, and a leadoff double. Nice start for the Mariners. Austin Jackson right away in scoring position.
And we'll take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Mariners, brought to you by Chevron. Leadoff double for Jackson, and following Jackson, it'll be Kyle Seager. Nelson Cruz in right field and hitting third tonight. Seth Smith moves up to the cleanup spot. Gutierrez, the DH, hitting fifth. Then it's Trumbo, Miller, Taylor. Mike Zunino with an 8-game hitting streak, .393 average, a home run, and 6 RBIs over the 8 games. For Hughes on the year, 9-game winner so far, .393 ERA. 75 strikeouts, only 12 walks on the year. He will not walk batters. You're going to see a lot of first pitch fastballs from him. He throws his fastball a lot this year, right around 63%. He mixes in a cutter at 20%. You'll see his curveball at 15% and an occasional changeup from Hughes. His fastball is going to be in the low 90s. Cutter a couple of miles an hour off of that.
The 0-1 to Seager. A line right there to Maurer. And back on to second base, but Jackson safe.
And that is a bad break for the Mariners. Kyle trying to do his job, and that is get something that he can pull to the right side so that if he makes an out, move the runner up. But unfortunately, the line drive right at Maurer at first.
That'll bring in Nelson Cruz. Nelson, a 9-game hitting streak, 15 hits in those 9 games, hitting nearly .310 on the season now. He has Jackson at second base, the leadoff double. Cruz entering tonight 26 home runs. None of them have been cheap, and none of them that he has hit in this ballpark have been cheap either. Last year with the Orioles, he hit one off the facade of the third deck in left field. And back in 2011, as a member of the Rangers, hit one up to the third deck, a tape measure shot that was a modest 453 feet. So we'll see what happens here tonight against a guy who throws a lot of strikes and gives up plenty of home runs in Phil Hughes.
Before the game started today, they had the softball guys out here hitting home runs, and they were hitting them up into the upper deck. And that's the reason why I was wondering, has anybody ever hit a baseball up there? Because from where we're sitting here, it looks like it's a mile away, almost impossible to do. And it was funny to see that Cruz's name is on that list, a short list of guys that have hit it up in that area.
It's pretty impressive. Less than 10 in the history of this ballpark have reached the third deck. Count stays at 1-2.
And you can see on the EQC tracer, all fastballs, all of them away from Cruz. And Phil Hughes, that's what he's going to do for the most part. Aaron, you mentioned the game back in April when he pitched against the Mariners. Pitched well, 8 innings, just 2 earned runs, gave up 6 hits. As you would expect, didn't walk anybody, had 9 strikeouts in that one.
Hughes not a big strikeout guy this year at all. So that number very high for him.
That was a season high.
Stopped by Suzuki, still 2-2. The numbers this year from Hughes: more home runs allowed than any starter in the league, the 3rd most in baseball. And then you go a step past that just in hits overall. No pitcher has allowed more hits in the game than that man right there, Phil Hughes. He's tied with Jeff Samardzija of the White Sox for the most hits allowed, just under 150. He's worked in about 131 innings entering tonight. So far more hits than innings pitched. Sano at third base, an early chance, takes his time and gets the out.
American Family Insurance defensive setup for the Twins. Rosario in left field, Hicks in center, Corey Hunter out and right. Sano just saw him make that play at third. Polanco and Dozier playing up the middle. Joe Maurer, the first baseman, and Kurt Suzuki, the former A&M National, will do the catching tonight.
2 outs. Jackson at second base. He led things off with the double. And that brings in Seth Smith. And we saw an early chance there for Sano. And this will be something to track tonight. Trevor Plouffe on the paternity list, so Sano getting the start tonight at third base. And only his 2nd career start. Granted, tonight is only his 21st game. Got the call up from Double-A earlier this year. He's been DHing more than anything else. This is smashed to right field, and it is gone by a ton. Seth Smith gives the Mariners an early 2-0 lead. Phil Hughes coughs up an early homer. That did not take long to exit.
Well, Seth Smith, the injuries to Cano, moves into the cleanup spot, and I liked his approach. We were talking about it before the game with Hughes. He throws a lot of first pitch fastballs. This is 93 miles an hour in the middle of the plate. And I said, I like where Seth is at tonight because he's aggressive on the fastball. And I think that the Mariners as a team will probably have to take the fastball away from Hughes, especially early, get him a little bit uncomfortable, and a good at-bat for Smith.
That'll bring in Gutierrez. That's now the 24th homer allowed by Hughes, making his 21st start of the season tonight. For Smith, home run number 9 on the season. Nice to see the Mariners with some 2-out run production early, not wasting the leadoff double by Jackson. And Goody ahead 3-1. All of Franklin's home runs this year, speaking of the long ball, have either been the opposite way or towards left center, like the game winner that we saw against the Blue Jays. On a line and over the leap of Dozier. 2-out base hit. Another one. This one from Gutierrez, who puts on the wheels into second base and will slide in there safely. So 3 extra base hits off of Hughes here in the first inning. A couple of doubles and a homer.
See the 4th double for Franklin Gutierrez, and it's one thing to know the scouting report. It's another thing to take advantage of it, and that's what the Mariners are doing. That's another fastball in the middle of the plate as Franklin hits it the other way. Torrey Hunter, the veteran, able to cut it off in the gap, and Franklin gets in for a double.
Now, dating back to last season, as we're talking about all the strikes that Hughes throws, no pitcher in the game has thrown more first pitch strikes than Hughes. It's about 3/4 of the time as he gets Trumbo swinging. And you're right, Mike, knowing the game plan and executing the game plan, those are 2 different things.
Well, they are, and the Mariners are being aggressive, the top of the lineup taking advantage of all the fastballs. So you'd like to see that continue. You mentioned it too, Aaron, with Hughes now giving up 24 home runs in just his 21st start. You go back through it, he's only had 4 starts this year where he hasn't given up at least 1 home run.
And one of those was his last start, and you could say maybe his best. He went 7 scoreless. It was his first start this season without allowing a run. Trumbo to Sano, the short pick, and he'll get the tag on Gutierrez on his way to third base. That'll do it for the Mariners at the top of the first, but Seth Smith with a shot out to right field. He has given the Mariners the early lead. Jay Happ up on the mound tonight for the Mariners, making his 20th start of the season. First time pitching here at Target Field as a starter since 2013. Taking on the Twins ball club and entering at 52-48. And the wild card chase as we are in the second half of the season. And how about we take a look now? Paul Molitor's starting lineup, Mike.
And leading off, probably his best player, Brian Dozier, on the year. 21 home runs, 9 steals in the leadoff spot. Then at 6, Joe Mauer, 10-game hitting streak, 308 average with 4 doubles during that 10 games. Sano, Hunter, and Rosario in the middle of the lineup. Escobar, Suzuki, and Polanco round out the 9 for the Twins. For Happ on the year, 4-5 record, a 4.27 ERA.
Dozier on the first pitch, fouls it off.
And that's one of the things when you look at last year in the series in Seattle with Dozier. He's very aggressive on the fastball, especially a fastball that is up in the zone. As you look at his numbers, 21 home runs.
And he hammers this to left field. Smith can turn, but only watch it go. Making 22 home runs. And the Twins on the board right away. 2 pitches into the ballgame here in the bottom of the first.
Well, again, this is something over the last year and a half, watching Dozier hit. He likes to hit the fastball, and he likes the fastball. This fastball is actually up out of the strike zone. Zunino giving him the low target. That's where he wants it. Happ doesn't get it there, and Dozier makes him pay for it.
Two early home runs tonight. That brings in Aaron Hicks. Switch hitting center fielder. And here comes Zunino, a very early visit out to the mound by the Mariners catcher.
Now 20 of the 22 home runs for Dozier in the leadoff spot. That's the most in the major leagues.
He's not really a guy that you look at and say he's a leadoff hitter, but it works for the Twins.
Well, I think if you look at it, you consider him their best player, and I do. I think Paul Molitor wants him to try to hit 5 times a game, and that's why he's in that leadoff spot.
Sure. Hicks into center field, and a base hit. So Aaron Hicks now a 6-game hitting streak. That's a new career best. He was aboard at first base for Joe Mauer.
We'll take a look at the defense for the Mariners, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith getting the start in left field. Jackson in center. Nelson Cruz out in right. Seager at third. Miller and Taylor playing up the middle again. Cano another night off. Trumbo at first base. And Zunino will do the catching tonight. We talked about it, a short bench for Lloyd McClendon tonight. You have Cano and Morrison on the bench. Both of them have injuries. And Sucre, after Ackley was traded away just before, I guess early this afternoon.
A strike as Mauer showing bunt. Now the Twins right now holding the second wild card spot, but only by 1 game. As you see Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer, member of the 3,000 hit club, first year as Twins manager. And the wild card standings a game ahead of Baltimore, 2 ahead of Toronto, who now have David Price. But it has not been easy going for the Twins lately, and they've lost 8 of 11 since the All-Star break. With a minus 22 run differentials, their pitching has struggled. They've dropped 4 in a row.
It's an interesting team to look at and consider the position that they're in. As you mentioned, the second wild card spot here, but they are in the middle of the pack in a lot of categories. 7th in hitting, 10th in runs scored, 9th in slugging. Their pitching ERA is 11. Middle of the pack in fielding. But yet, here they are.
They had a tremendous early part of the season. In the month of May, they went 20-7.
They've also played well against left-handed starters. They're 3 games over 500 against left-handed starters this year.
Mauer the opposite way. Seth Smith comes in a few steps. That really is the way that his swing is patterned, isn't it, Mike?
Has been from the time that he has shown up in the big leagues. And you go back to the Metrodome, he not only hit the ball hard the other way, but did some damage because the left field fence was a little bit shorter. This is a much bigger ballpark, so his home run totals are down. But yeah, well, just a real classic left-handed swing. Reminds me a lot of John Olerud.
One out for Miguel Sano. Sano has long been one of the Twins' top prospects, upper tier prospects, in a farm system that the last few years has been really pretty stocked. Names like Aaron Hicks dating back a couple of years, Byron Buxton, who right now is on the disabled list, who made his major league debut earlier this season. But Sano, only 22 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Tries to stay inside this pitch. And as you can see, he can fill up a batter's box. 6'4", 260 pounds. Missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery, actually, which you don't see often for a position player. Third baseman. Happ, for his career, remember, he spent a good chunk of his time in the majors in the National League when the Astros were still in the NL. He's only pitched 10 career innings against the Twins. It's not a very familiar opponent. Soft tapper, Happ's way, bobble, and off the bag. Sano is safe.
Will probably be an error on the pitcher. You see the ball, it bobbles it, never really gets a good grip on it, almost throws a changeup over to Trumbo, has to come off the base to make the catch. I think that will be an error.
Trumbo forced to leave the bag. It is an error. Hicks into second. Sano at first base for Torrey Hunter. Mariners an early 2-run homer off the bat of Smith, and Dozier going deep here near the bottom of the first as Hunter fouls off the first pitch. Hunter returning to Minnesota this year, former first-round draft pick by the Twins in '93. Signed a 1-year deal with the Twins. The immortal one, Torrey Hunter.
A little bit surprised. This is going to be his 90th game this year, and I would have thought that a few more days off would be in order for Torrey Hunter, but he's been productive. 254. He has 16 home runs and 54 RBIs, so still able to get it done.
He had offers from multiple teams, longer offers than just 1 year, but wanted to come back to Minnesota, where it all began for him. 2 balls and a strike.
One of the areas that the Twins have really done a good job is these situations, runners in scoring position. On the year, the Twins hitting .277 on the year with runners in scoring position.
We talk about them being middle of the pack in a number of areas. That doesn't seem like quite a middle of the pack number.
No, that's a really good number as a squad. So they're taking advantage of the situations that they have.
2-2. With dead center, but Hunter can't connect. Happ working with 2 on and 1 out.
Okay, Corey.
Tying run in scoring position for the Twins. The count pushes full on Hunter.
And Mark Wegner maybe missed one. Jay wanted that last pitch. Good fastball right at the bottom of the strike zone. 94 miles an hour.
And Rosario on deck. Through the left side, a base hit. Hicks has speed into third. Gene Glenn waves him in, and he scores standing. And we are all tied up at 2 apiece in the bottom of the first. And you can see Happ talking things over with Mark Wegner there.
He wanted the pitch before that, and his last fastball is elevated. Middle in, elevated fastball at 94, and Torrey's able to stay on top of it. He can still get you a good fastball, but it was the pitch before at the knees that Jay wanted, thought he had him put away.
So that 2-run homer by Seth Smith quickly wiped away. The home run by Dozier. Now the RBI single to left by Torrey Hunter. All even up at 2 apiece, and that brings in Rosario, the left fielder. Twins have a number of really young hitters in the lineup tonight, and Rosario is one of them. 23 years old, out of Puerto Rico. Has played about 25 games this year in AAA. They're affiliated in Rochester, New York. Rosario making his big league debut in May. And a slow swing and a miss there to make it 0-1.
Pretty good slider from Jay Happ, getting away from the fastball. He typically throws a lot of fastballs. This year he's been right around 64% of his pitches will be a fastball. But his slider has really been a good pitch for him. He starts him off with a slider off the plate away.
Hammered right field. This is clobbered. He got a ton of it. This is mashed over the wall. Second home run for the Twins. And for Rosario, number 5 of the season, the Twins have already hung a 5 spot on the Mariners.
This looks like a bad curveball. Little curveball just spins up there around 78 miles an hour. Really didn't have much break to it. Zunino again set up down and away in that pitch. Middle of the belt, middle in.
And clears off the bases for Escobar. Now Happ did not survive the second inning in his last start. Walked 4 in an inning and 2/3 at home against his former team, the Blue Jays. Last time we saw Happ, he was pitching in relief. That was in game 1 against Arizona on Monday. Through an inning scoreless, he struck out 2, but that was in an effort to spell the bullpen a little bit.
Now you can see the numbers right there, and 23 pitches, just 1 out here in the first. Lloyd McClendon feeling that his bullpen was finally in decent shape going into the night, so Happ may be out there for a while. I don't think he wants to stress his bullpen again, especially when you're just starting a 4-game series.
Ball and 2 strikes to Escobar, who's been a much better hitter at home this year, batting 80 points higher at Target Field. His career began about 5 years ago with the White Sox. Right there to Seager, hip high. Round number 2. And a much needed out number 2. That'll bring in Suzuki, the 8th batter of the Twins' first inning. Dozier a leadoff homer. That brought the Twins within a run. Then Hunter an RBI single to tie things up. And most recently Rosario, a 3-run shot over the wall in right field. Suzuki, an all-star last year, his lone all-star season. We saw him years ago with the A's. Has faced the Mariners plenty in his career. His offensive numbers haven't been quite the same this year as last season when he played in the Midsummer Classic right here at Target Field. He hit a career-high 288 last season. His numbers down to 230 right now entering tonight. Line drive left field in front of Smith. And that brings in the 9th batter for the Twins.
And we'll take a look at this last pitch. It's a cut fastball, middle of the plate. He's able to get it down around the knees, but and now the Twins really getting after his fastball. That went at 90 miles an hour.
In steps Polanco, ball 1. And Polanco, one of the young players we were talking about, 22 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. This is only his 8th game of the big leagues. It was Polanco who got the call up from the minor leagues when Trevor Plouffe was placed on the disabled list, the normal everyday third baseman.
Only 4 at bats for him, 1 for 4.
And peeled down to first base, he doesn't go. You can see the limited time for Polanco. But talking about Plouffe, who's been really having a nice season for the Twins, just like Paul Molitor said, we will see him potentially on Saturday back at third base. He and his wife celebrating the birth of their first child, so on the paternity list. Brad Miller's way, and out of first, and that will complete finally this bottom of the first inning. The Twins sent 9 to the plate and 5 cross the plate and got the early lead. And it came back in the top of the first inning. Seth Smith, first pitch, and this was hammered, Mike.
First pitch fastball, 93 miles an hour. We're talking about it with Hughes, that he likes to do that a lot. Seth, the veteran, takes advantage of it. For Seth, his 9th home run of the year, getting a chance to hit cleanup with Cano on the bench tonight.
Bottom third of the order due up for the Mariners. It starts with Brad Miller. We were talking earlier back in the first about Hughes and just the ultimate command that he has. Only 12 walks entering tonight over 130 innings, and last year he was absolutely historic. And if you take a look at his numbers from last season, he set the all-time record in terms of strikeout to walk ratio, best all-time among pitchers who qualified for the ERA title, as he struck out nearly 12 batters for every one that he walked. Miller on 1-2, diving stop by Dozier from his knees, round number 1. Takes a hit away.
And Brad has been swinging the bat well. Hits this ball hard, but a fine play by Dozier. Gets rid of it quickly, throwing it from his knee. I'm talking about the lack of walks for Hughes. Walks per 9 innings last year, 0.7. That was the best. And this year he's at the top of the list again at 0.8. So really starting to set a trend.
A lot of strikes, a lot of fastballs for strikes.
Now facing Taylor. Taylor slicing high, right center field. Hunter pedaling back and able to track it down. Now back-to-back fine defensive plays by the Twins. Goes to the diving stop, and Hunter's some range for the gap.
Well, he can still cover some ground. At one point, the fine center fielder for the Twins, and now that he's back with him playing right field, but able to cover the gap out in right center.
Eight-game hitting streak for Mike Zunino. For Mike, that's the longest of his career and the longest for a Mariners catcher since Jesus Montero had an 11-game streak back near the end of 2012. Oh, 2 on Mike. Zunino recently hitting his 10th home run of the season. It was his second deck job back at Safeco Field, and in the ballpark of about 450 feet. This has some carry back towards Hunter's way. Hunter having to play it high off the wall. Zunino quickly turning into second base, and a double. 4th extra base hit off of Hughes so far, and Zunino didn't miss that one by much.
No, he didn't. Really hit right off the top of the wall. Another fastball. This fastball down on the outside corner. Little cut fastball. Mike going with it. You can see Torii Hunter having to retreat as it hits the limestone right there at the top of the wall.
Back to the top of the order. Here's Austin Jackson, who doubled to begin the ball game, then scored on a 2-run homer by Seth Smith.
Well, 9-game hitting streak for Mike Zunino. Over the 9 games, that's now his 5th double. He has a home run and 6 RBIs.
Think he'll probably get a pat on the back from Edgar once this inning comes to a close, where he crosses home plate.
I think there's 2 things in that at bat that Edgar's going to like. Obviously the double, going the other way with it, going with that pitch, but more importantly laying off of the 0-2 pitch, which was an elevated fastball. Mike 0-2 earlier in the year, he was swinging and able to take that pitch, seeing that it was out of the zone. Edgar will appreciate that. One of the few curveballs we've seen from Hughes. Austin Jackson with a double his first time up.
Two and two. You take a look at this month and how this has been far and away the best month offensively for the Mariners, especially where they rank within the other 29 teams in baseball, but batting nearly 265 in the upper half, coming off a really tough month of June and May as well.
And it's not just the batting average. They've hit 34 homers with the home runs by Seth Smith. Now 34 home runs in the month.
And Jackson going after it. The off-speed pitch there from Hughes. Jackson down on strike. Zunino stranded at second base. We go to the bottom of the second. Travis Winning from Target Field. They'll celebrate Jamie Moyer, the 9th member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, with the special luncheon in his honor on August 7th. Enjoy a meal on the Safeco Field infield and listen to great stories and memories from Jamie and other Mariner legends, including Jay Edgar. Sweet Lou will be there as well. You can visit mariners.com/Jamie for more information. First pitch strike to Dozier. 1-for-1 with a homer. Twins sent 9 batters to the plate in the first inning. 32 pitches for Happ.
A lot of pitches for him, and with Dozier, he's the one that ended up getting things started. It was the second pitch fastball that he hit out of the ballpark. And right now you can see Jay really working hard to try to keep the ball down in this at bat. He likes to hit the high fastball. That's what he was able to get. In fact, you look at the EQC tracer there, the fastball was up above that red line and still able to hit it out of the ballpark.
Seager right there by the knees for round number 1. Leadoff man retired. That brings in Aaron Hicks. Hicks a single and a run scored back in the first, so now a 6-game hitting streak for the Twins center fielder. That's the longest of his career. Hicks very highly touted coming up through the minors, and so far his major league career has been a struggle. This is probably among some of the best that he has played in the major leagues. The stretch that he's on right now, we mentioned the hitting streak, but he's reached base in 19, well, including tonight, making 20 of his last 21 games and hitting about 360 in that span. So this is the best that the Mariners have seen Hicks over the course of his career. He's been up and down the last couple of seasons.
164 at bats for him on the year, but 288 average. Now that has gone up with the base hit back up the middle. He's hit 4 home runs, 8 stolen bases.
And this is smoked. Left center, Jackson can do nothing about it. 3rd home run for the Twins. And they now lead 6-2. Now for a Twins team that needed a shot of the arm, losers of their last 4. Paul Molitor is saying that things had to change quickly for Minnesota, and the first inning plus has certainly been that.
And you're right. You see, take a look at that fastball right in the middle of the plate. He hits it out into the bullpen.
That brings in Mauer. Mauer had a hard line out to left back in the first inning.
This game can be strange at times. You look at Jay Happ coming into the game this year. He'd only given up 10 home runs on the year. The Twins 11th in the American League in hitting home runs. Yet he's already given up 3.
You're right. Sometimes the numbers just don't add up. This has been a rough one early on for Happ. All the home runs for the Twins so far today coming from right-handed hitters, as Mauer gets rung up, and you can see on the EQC tracer he thought that that pitch was a little low and outside. So 2 outs, and for Happ that's his first strikeout. But it has been the right-handed bats that have stung him when it comes to the long ball. Like Mike said, not a whole lot of home runs overall hit off of Happ, but all of his homers but 1 have come from right-handed hitters. And here's another Miguel Sano.
Sano, part of the problem in the first inning, Jay was able to get him to hit it just a little too hopper back to him, was not able to handle it, and throwing the ball wide at first. He was able to reach on an error and eventually scored. That would have been the second out of the inning.
Taps 1-2, and it's outside. Happ approaching 50 pitches here with 2 outs in the second. Shows you what Paul Molitor thinks of Sano, or it shows you his lack of options that you put a 22-year-old with about 20 games of big league experience right into the cleanup spot.
Well, he's had an impact into the game, just 64 at bats, but a .299 average with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs.
And he's been getting on base. Here he draws the walk. He's been a boost offensively for the Twins. 2 out a walk, that brings in Hunter.
And Rick Waite's making a trip out to the mound. Still nobody throwing in the pen for the Mariners, and I think Jay, he's a veteran guy, certainly aware of the fact that the bullpen has been used a lot, and he's going to be out there for his 100 pitches tonight. It's a tough thing sometimes as a manager, Aaron, when you're in a situation like this, and we talked about the bullpen finally getting in decent shape going into the game tonight. You have a 4-game series, and sometimes as a manager you have to manage for all 4 games, and sometimes it's in that first game, and I think Lloyd's going to be reluctant to use a lot of his bullets out in the bullpen here in this first game without at least getting some work from Jay tonight. You mentioned it in his last start, just an inning and 2/3.
The bullpen has been needing a rest lately.
And in that outing, which was against Toronto, he only threw 52 pitches, so he should be strong enough tonight, and reaching 100 pitches will not be a problem for him, as hopefully he can limit the damage.
First pitch strike to Hunter. Hunter an RBI single and a run scored back in the first. He came home on Rosario's homer. And quickly 0-2. Count stays put, a ball and 2 strikes. Happ now in his 9th season of the big leagues. In fact, he and Phil Hughes, the starting pitcher for the Twins tonight, broke into the majors at the same time. Seager charging and out of first base. That'll end things with the Twins' second. A run in. Hicks, the deep home run to left center. As we go to the 3rd inning, the Twins have the lead. TNW DataStrong fan, and you just might find yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Glad to have you with us here tonight. A beautiful night from Target Field in Minneapolis. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Mike Flowers, our entire Root Sports crew. As we open things up in the top of the third, that's where Kyle Seager will lead things off. Seager, line drive, right field. Nice way to begin things.
Well, Kyle's hit the ball hard a couple of times, lined out to first his first time, and time able to hit the line drive over the second baseman. We'll take a look at the pitch selection for Phil Hughes. Again, throws a lot of fastballs. If you combine his fastball with his cut fastball, 83%. Off-speed pitches, curveball, rarely uses his changeup. That's exactly what we've seen tonight. A lot of fastballs, a lot of cut fastballs, just a few curveballs so far in this one. Nelson Cruz grounded out to third his first time up.
And pulls it foul past third. We were talking earlier about the third deck home run hit by Cruz back in 2011. Jim Thome has the 3 longest home runs hit here in the history of this ballpark. Cruz has the longest home run hit at Target Field for anybody not named Jim Thome. The one that was 454 back in 2011 with Texas. A little bit of a breeze here tonight.
What do you think of this ballpark?
This is a gorgeous ballpark, isn't it?
I agree. It's one of my favorites.
Of all the natural limestone here inside Target Field, it's interesting how vertical this ballpark is in terms of the seating. They built it on a very small plot of land. They were pretty limited just in terms of the overall acreage. So they've already shown you some shots of the seats in left field and especially in right field above that wall that's nearly 20 feet high. This ballpark goes straight up. It's a pretty small footprint. Hosted the All-Star game last year. Cruz, a big swing and a miss. And Nelson down on strikes. Join us for EQC Girls Night Out set for Friday, August 7th, when the Mariners take on the Rangers. For just $40, you'll get a Maine or Terrace Club seat, a great-looking Mariners cap, and your first drink. Visit mariners.com/girls for tickets.
See what Phil Hughes has in store for Seth Smith. Seth, in his first at bat, first pitch fastball, 93 miles an hour in the middle of the plate, and he hit it out of the ballpark, a 2-run home run for Seth, his 9th home run on the year.
You know, Mike, talking about ballparks at Target Field, how often do we hear visiting teams coming to Safeco Field, broadcasters, beat writers alike, and talk about how much they love coming to Safeco?
All the time.
Happens constantly, especially those from, let's say, Arlington in August when they come to Seattle.
It's a nice break for them, although it's pretty warm back home right now.
Seager at first base. He reached on the leadoff single. All the talk about Cruz and the home runs hit here. Seth Smith actually has one of the deepest homers in this ballpark. It came back in 2012 when he was a member of the Oakland A's. As Seth hit one out 448 feet. It's the top 10. This ballpark's history.
And no surprise, Aaron, but for Phil Hughes, he's faced 13 batters, 11 first pitch strikes tonight. So he really has pitched right off the scouting report on him tonight.
You've seen that changeup, it seems like a couple of times, and mostly fastball, the cutter, and an occasional curve.
An occasional curve. That's it. He's had a good fastball tonight for him. He averages around 91 miles an hour, but we've seen 93, 94 quite a few times. There's the changeup.
Good pitch to a lefty. Back-to-back strikeouts.
And we'll take a look at it. 83 miles an hour. Tough to lay off of that pitch, especially when he locates it like that, and you know that he's throwing a lot of fastballs.
Gutierrez climbs in with Seager at first base, 2 outs. Goody a double back in the first inning. And another first pitch strike. If you take a closer look at Twins pitching overall since the All-Star break, they have really struggled. They've allowed nearly 6 runs per game since the Midsummer Classic, averaging nearly 10 hits a game. And in terms of the bullpen, half the runs have scored, inherited runs have scored, as Mike talked earlier about the bullpen scuffling a little bit.
When you look at the Twins coming into this one, they've lost 4 in a row. And in those 4 games, past the 6th inning, they've had innings where they've given up 4 runs somewhere along the way. So that tells you where the bullpen is at right now. They've really struggled, and they're giving up some big numbers.
The curse of the big inning. Two outs, Seager at first base, and the 0-2. And the Twins have given up their share of homers since the All-Star break as well. Seth Smith going deep in the first. That was the 18th home run allowed by Twins pitchers since the break. And there aren't many teams that have given up more. Goody stays alive. We just saw a shot of Paul Molitor. Mike, what are your memories of playing against Molitor?
Great player. I remember the first time playing against him. He was with Toronto when they were making the great run. He was the DH for them at the time. And the one thing I was surprised, there were 2 things with him I was surprised about. When you think of a hitter that has 3,000 hits and you think about working counts and using the entire field, he would use the entire field, but he was big at swinging first pitch fastballs. He's very aggressive as Gutierrez goes the other way. And the other thing is he had much better speed than I ever expected. I remember the first time on the carpet in Toronto, he hit a ground ball and stepped to my left, and I looked up, and it was one of those moments where your eyes get real big. I could not believe how far down the line he was, and I really had to air it out to barely get him. I never forgot that about him. And then after that, I used to watch him all the time, and I don't think anybody ran the bases harder than Paul Molitor. Great player.
Taking over for Ron Gardenhire. Goody drops a single into right. Seager goes first to third. So a couple of base hits for the Mariners in the top of the 3rd inning. 2 outs for Trumbo.
Early in the game, the Mariners so far 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Up the middle. Polanco deep in his center, going out of second and safe there. Gutierrez. Seager scores, and the Mariners grab a run with 2 outs. And Polanco really had to cover some ground.
It looked like he was headed up the middle. He's able to get to it again. Very young shortstop. Poor throw for Dozier at second. It looks like it might have been in time if he had made an accurate throw. Almost fielding it out towards center field. Be a base hit for Trumbo. Pick up an RBI.
Trims a deficit to 3. Miller on the first pitch, a foul.
Brad hit the ball hard his first time up. Unfortunately, a diving play by Dozier, the second baseman, to take a base hit away from him.
No 1-2. Now the runs this month for the Mariners. This has been the best month offensively by far. June was a really tough month for the Mariners, less than 3 runs a game. And this is right, Mike. This is exactly where Lloyd wants to see it, about 4 runs per game.
Well, and that's what he talked about leaving spring training. That's what his hope was. And he had the addition of Seth Smith, Nelson Cruz. Thought they could get there, and they're finally here in the month of July doing it.
Cut fastball freezes Miller. 2 left on, but a run in for the Mariners, down by 3. All right, Ange, thank you. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Happ has thrown a lot of pitches early on here tonight. 5 runs for the Twins in the first, a run in the second. And here is Eddie Rosario to begin things, looking at first pitch ball. Pardon me, 2-0.
Rosario in his first at bat ended up getting a bad breaking ball. It looked like a curve ball. Just kind of slipped out of Jay's hand, and he hit it into the seats in right field. For Rosario, his 5th home run of the year.
Happ falls behind. Close pitch there.
A couple of close pitches, and Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, really isn't helping him out at all. Anything that's close is calling it a ball.
And the gap opposite way. Smith has to track it down up against the base of the wall. Rosario into second base. And after a wide turn back to the bag, he's safe. A 3-run homer, now a leadoff double.
After just missing a couple of pitches away, he comes right back with a fastball in the middle of the plate. Didn't want to walk him, pays for it with a double. So Rosario having a good night, already a home run and a double, working here in the 3rd inning.
That brings in Escobar. A lot of traffic on the base paths early tonight for the Twins. Ball and a strike to Escobar.
No surprise to see Escobar trying to hit that ball the other way. After the leadoff double trying to move the runner along, you would expect a Paul Molitor team to at least make an effort at that. Paul was really good at it. And another close pitch right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Take a look at how things stack up right now. We take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. The Twins, a surprise team this year, behind the Royals by 9 games. Seager charges a fair ball and gets an out of it. You talk all the time, Mike, about third baseman being aggressive, charging the ball, and that time able to get to it before it looked like it might have hopped foul.
I think Kyle, one of the best at it. Play a little bit closer, try to take the bunt away, and you can see even with the bag, but he'll come in right away, pick this ball cleanly. You can see the third base umpire, Mike Malinsky, right on top of the play, and Escobar thought it was going to be a foul ball, so he didn't even get halfway down the line by the time Kyle threw him out. Twins now 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Quick look at Rosario, who led things off with a double. Pop up at his shallow right. Chris Taylor, the second baseman tonight, making the catch. Out number 2, and Rosario has to stay put at second base. I'll join the Mariners at 100.7 The Wolf for Country Music Night at the ballpark Tuesday, August 11th. Through this special offer, you'll receive a ticket and a Mariners cowboy hat for as low as $20. Pick up your boots and get tickets now only at mariners.com/country. Now, Mike, with Cano sideline once again tonight with the abdominal strain, a chance that we will see Robbie tomorrow, Lloyd said, in a DH capacity. It's the combination of Miller and Taylor up the middle. They have flip-flopped from what we saw yesterday afternoon against Arizona, and Lloyd saying there's nothing to read into that. Just,
I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see it. They both are regular shortstops, so maybe they're going to take turns going back and forth until Robbie's able to go back out into the field.
Two balls and no strikes to Polanco, the number 9 hitter.
Well, this is definitely the hitter that he wants to get. You have Brian Dozier waiting on deck. Dozier's already homered in the ball game.
As Rosario at second base. And it's well over Trumbo's head into right field and trouble. Rosario to third base makes a turn. And the 7th run in tonight for the Twins.
Rosario scoring his second run of the ball game, and again, Jay falling behind 2-0, has to get a little bit too much of the plate on an elevated fastball. Polanco picks up his first RBI.
So the Mariners, who scored a run in the top of this third, the Twins get that run right back in the home half. And here is Dozier. Dozier struggled in that brief interleague series against the Pirates, when just 1 for 9 before the Mariners came to town, but already hit tonight, the home run. And that home run for Dozier, yet another extra base hit. He leads all American League hitters in extra base hits and entered tonight 4th in the majors in that category.
You look at the Twins tonight, 8 hits, half of them for extra bases.
3 of them homers. Two outs, Polanco at first base, the RBI single. Well, outside 2-0. "70 pitches now for Happ through 2 2/3. And falls behind now, 3-0.
I'm sure he has the green light. 22 home runs on the year.
Hicks would be next with 2 outs.
Yeah, Aaron already with a home run. He homered in his last at bat.
Looks at a strike.
Quality strike right on the outside corner.
And some activity beginning to brew inside the bullpen. Tommy Helmson starts to loosen up. Rick Waite's looking on. Wonder how many pieces of bubble gum that's been so far tonight for Rick.
Quite a few tonight, I think.
Would seem like it. Lifted to left field. Right there is Jackson towards the alleyway. And he makes the catch. A man left, a run in for the Twins. We're through 3 innings. Next 3 games as we take a glance at our CenturyLink. What's next? Taijuan Walker going up against the former aide Tommy Milone, who gets to start tomorrow for the Twins, and Mike Montgomery on Saturday. That game will be a little bit earlier than usual. And then Kyle Gibson, Mike Pelfrey in game 3 and 4. Iwakuma going to the finale for the Mariners. Gibson and Pelfrey really having a nice season.
We talked about it a lot with the Twins and their starters, just how consistent they've been. You can see the list there, all of them with ERAs in the 3, including Hughes tonight. Just the overall consistency, nothing flashy jumping out at you, not that big #1 starter, but they've been very consistent this year.
This is line into left field. Rosario sprinting after it, can't get there. Taylor hunts extra bases, and he's in at second. Slams on the brakes and a leadoff double. Another extra base hit off of Hughes. Well, talking about the starting pitching for the Twins, this has been the biggest difference for the Twins this season. There's probably no question about it. You can see the starting rotation earned run average for the Twins dating back to 2012, dead last in the American League. The opposing average for 300 in 2013, and those numbers far better this year. They're tied for 4th in terms of American League ERA this year, tied with the Astros on the opposing average. In some cases, 25 points lower than in previous years. Hunter nearing the warning track, but he makes the catch. Taylor tags, hustles into third base, and he's in there standing.
And 2 good at bats for Mike Zunino. Mike had a double off the right field wall, right off the top of it. Just missed a home run his first time up, and then after the leadoff double by Taylor, doing the job, able to move him up a base. Now just 1 out. Good opportunity for Austin Jackson to pick up an RBI.
And in a strikeout era, Mike, it kind of goes back to the point that not all outs are created equally.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. You see that fly ball. Boston hits a ground ball out to the second baseman Dozier. You'll pick up a run, a couple of outs, but you get a run out of it.
Jackson doubled and scored to begin the ball game. He came home on the homer by Smith out to right field. Hughes, the former first-round draft pick by the Yankees, has Taylor at third base. I mentioned earlier that Hughes and Happ broke into the big leagues in the same year. They actually faced each other in the 2008 World Series when Hughes was pitching out of the bullpen for the Yankees, Happ pitching in relief for the Phillies. These two have really come up together. Different teams at the same time in the majors. Clock left center, has some carry, doesn't have the distance. This is hit hard and gone. Jackson, a 2-run homer here in the 4th, and he helps to bring the Mariners right back into things. That was a shot by Jackson. Home run number 6. Mariners down by just a pair.
Austin Jackson gets an off-speed pitch. That's a changeup in a bad location. You can see it belt high right on the inside corner. Austin, his 6th home run of the year. And the Mariners keep fighting back within 2.
And brings in Seager. Now that adds another layer, Mike, to something you were saying earlier. Hughes pitching exactly to the scouting report in many ways. Already 2 home runs he's allowed. And we knew that was a problem for Hughes entering tonight's start. So Taylor, the leadoff double, he comes in. Jackson's 2nd extra base hit. Seager ahead of the count. It was interesting hearing Paul Molitor speak very candidly today from inside his office about Hughes, and he used the word predictable, talking about first pitch strikes, has his sinker, doesn't throw it very often, so most of his pitches in the upper half of the strike zone.
I think, again, that's the reason why he went to the changeup against Austin Jackson, trying to get a strikeout. Fortunately for him and fortunate for the Mariners, it was poor in the location to leave a changeup up at 84 miles an hour like that, especially when it's close to you, Aaron. That's a real easy adjustment to make for a hitter. I think he wanted to bounce it right there. Austin made him pay for it.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Seager. Singled his last time up. And a full count. Cruz on deck, ready to go. Seager playable to left. Rosario's, and there is number 2. I'll be sure to stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. Mariners within 2, a couple of 2-run homers early on here tonight against Hughes. Smith to right field in the first, Jackson to left center here in the fourth, and with 2 outs and nobody on, it brings in Cruz. Cruz through the shift into center, and a 2-out base hit, the first tonight for Cruz, so that is now a 10-game hitting streak for Nelson. Now CC Sabathia in the mix in terms of most home runs allowed in the American League. Sabathia coughed up 2 tonight. Shin-Soo Choo going deep. Also Josh Hamilton. Rangers in a series against the Yankees. So Hughes still pacing the league. In a category he'd rather not be a part of.
And a little bit unusual to hear that a couple of left-handed hitters hit home runs off of CC Sabathia tonight.
You're right.
We just saw CC, and he has really good numbers against lefties. And we'll take a look at Seth Smith. Inning cleanup tonight. That was back in the first inning. A 2-run homer for Seth, his 9th home run on the year. Jumping on a first pitch fastball, 93 miles an hour, and he turned it around.
The ball and a strike to Smith. We mentioned that last start for Hughes, 7 scoreless against the Yankees, his first scoreless start of the year. That was the first time he had not allowed a home run in 8 consecutive starts, and that has changed here tonight. And Smith behind a ball and 2 strikes.
And some action out in the pen for the Twins. It looks to me that Hughes right now is just trying to take a little more off of his fastball, trying to get it to sink. Last couple of fastballs have been right around 90. Early in the game, he was 93, 94.
So give up some velocity to gain some movement.
Yeah, try to keep the ball on the ground as the best that he can. He's also having to throw a lot of pitches. 73 pitches as he works here in the fourth.
2 runs in for the Mariners this inning. Jackson the 2-run homer. Cruz singled. He's at first. Block to right. Hunter playing it easily. And he's there to make the catch. Cruz stranded. Jackson the 2-run homer. Number 6 on the season. Mariners within reach, down by 2. And Mike, the Twins have mashed 3 early home runs.
No, you're right, and that is the difference. And when you look at the Twins, it's not a club that typically hits home runs. They're 11th in the American League, and Jay Happ had only given up 10 coming into this game on the year. But 3 home runs for the Twins here in the early going, including Aaron Hicks, who's going to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th.
Hicks is a switch hitter, and last year he actually decided to give up switch hitting for a while. Naturally a right-handed bat, but things were scuffling so much from the other side of the plate that he decided that it'd be better off to simply focus on one side. And there's been a couple of hitters in recent years do that, and some stick with it, some don't. Shane Victorino seemed like he did that with the Red Sox, but Hicks has since reverted back to switch hitting. But you think about how tough hitting just from one side of the plate is to then be a switch hitter. If you're struggling, that would be an easy temptation, it seems like, maybe.
No, you're right. And thinking about that, Aaron, you probably remember that there was some talk about that with Justin Smoke and trying to get him on just one side of the plate. I think that there's a couple things with it.
Soft tapper, long way to come in. Seager, the bare hand, no throw.
Too much speed for Hicks. I mean, infield hit. But if you think about switch hitters, when you're hitting, it's the reason why you look at the splits all the time. If I'm a right-handed hitter facing a left-handed pitcher, it's going to be difficult for them to try to get the ball to run away from me. Everything's going to start away and come in. It can't go any further out than that. So there's an advantage to that as a hitter. And as a switch hitter, it makes sense. So you can keep that advantage all the time. But the disadvantages are trying to get 2 swings together all season long, and I can't imagine it because I had a hard enough time with just hitting right-handed. I can't imagine being on both sides of the plate and having to take enough swings from both sides to make that work, and that's why the ones that can do it are very special.
Pretty impressive. Not an easy thing to do. Here is Mauer.
I used to marvel at Eddie Murray and watching him because he looked like the same hitter from both sides of the plate, and that's rare. Hall of Famer. But it's because sometimes the guys that switch hit, their stances and the way they hold their hands are a little bit different depending on which side of the plate they're on. But Murray looked the same to me from both sides of the plate, and it seemed that he did a lot of damage hitting right-handed or left-handed. Not many can do it.
Eddie Murray, part of the 500 home run club. Only switch hitter with more homers was Mickey Mantle. Two balls and a strike to Mauer.
And you can see on the EQC tray, so that last fastball again, a razor's edge off the outside corner, and Jay Happ has not been able to get that call all night. Mark Wegner has made both pitchers put the ball on the plate tonight.
That brings up a good point, Mike. From what you can tell from up here and on the monitor, it's been pretty even both ways.
I think it has been. Yes, it's been even both ways. And typically, when you get to that point, a couple things are going to happen because typically, when a pitcher is trying to make that perfect pitch on the outside corner or paint the inside hat, it really is going to change the count depending on whether they're able to do it or not. And that's a big advantage to the hitters if he's not going to get that, because then what happens is the pitcher says, well, now I really need to throw a strike. They get more of the plate, which we've seen from both sides, and the hitters will take advantage of that as you look at Tom Wilhelmsen continues to get loose in the pen. So it makes it tough on the pitchers.
We've seen 5 home runs tonight, 3 by the Twins. 4 of the 5 runs for the Mariners have come on home runs. Smith and then Jackson. Two balls and 2 strikes to Mauer, trying to extend a season best 10-game hitting streak. And he's caught looking. That's the second time in a row that Mauer has struck out with the bat on his shoulder, and what a fine pitch there with the fastball from Happ.
94 miles an hour, and it's a perfect pitch. Mike Zunino, an excellent job of framing the pitch at the knees on the outside corner. And that will be it for Jay Happ. Tom Wilhelmsen's going to take over.
Now, short start for Happ. He goes 3 1/3. Hicks at first base will step aside here from target field. Amy Moyer bobblehead night on Saturday, August 8th. And all you have to do is text Moyer to 71532, and you can win 2 tickets in the commissioner's box, plus your very own 7-inch collectible of the winningest pitcher in Mariners history. We hope to see you there. Pitching change with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 4th. And Mike, here are the numbers from Happ.
Yeah, another tough outing for him. 3 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned. Jay also made an error tonight. 1 walk, a couple of strikeouts, 82 pitches for him.
And he hands the ball over now to Tom Wilhelmsen, who inherits a runner at first base. That's Aaron Hicks. Facing Sano.
Tom held the ball just long enough. Hicks was trying to time him to steal second base. He took off, actually had 2 steps, and had to stop because Tom was still holding the ball. 27 appearances, a 4.22 ERA, 33 strikeouts, and 32 innings for Tom. He's given up a couple of home runs this year.
Sano ahead of the count. And Tom steps off. Strike on the inside edge, 2-1. Sano making the jump from Double-A up to the big leagues this year. So he works the inside and now the top of the strike zone. Back-to-back fastballs.
It looks as if Tom has a good fastball tonight. The last one 95 miles an hour. Also mix in a cutter around 90, a 12-6 curveball, and a changeup to the left-handed hitters.
One out, 1 on, and a peek over to first base, keeping an eye there on Hicks, who reached on the infield single on an impossible play by Seager. There goes Hicks. Down to second base. And Hicks, great speed, is in there. Meanwhile, Sano strikes out. So 2 outs and now a man at second for the Twins.
And it was a really good fastball from Tom Wilhelmsen. 97 on the inside corner. A great jump by Hicks. Not much of a chance for Zunino to throw him out. Job by Taylor to keep the ball in the infield. Bring up Torii Hunter. Torii 1 for 2. Scored a run and driven in a run.
See the importance for Wilhelmsen to retire Hunter. Rosario, a left-handed hitter on deck, and really, Mike, the numbers, the splits this year against Wilhelmsen are pretty staggering. Rather, how much more success lefties are having against him.
Oh, it is, and there's a good breaking ball. I think that's the equalizer right there. That pitch to the right-handers, Tom's ability to throw that pitch to the righties. They'll buckle a little bit because of the velocity of his fastball, and by the time they recognize the curveball, it's too late. That one well located. It's the biggest reason why we've seen him work on and try to throw his changeup a little bit more to the left-handers.
And you talk about the fastball, the changeup, the curveball. For your typical reliever, Wilhelmsen's got about as deep of a mix of pitches as you'll find.
No, that's because at one point he was a starter, and you work on those pitches at one point, and when he went into the bullpen and when he was closing, he was basically a reach back 97. Here's a 12-6 curveball. That was it. But because he fills in so many different roles for this club, he can spot start for you, a long reliever. He can pitch late in the games if you need him to. He's had a variety of pitches now that he can throw. It's one thing to come in and work your way through an inning and you can get away with a good fastball and that curveball, but if you have to see the lineup 2 times or even stay out there for a couple 2 or 3 innings, the opposing hitters are going to pick up on the 2 pitches that you may have. You need to mix it up a little bit.
Count goes to 2-2. Hunter with 347 career homers. That's 10th most among all active players. A-Rod, of course, at the top of the list. Well, outside a full count.
I think the other thing was a couple of years ago with Tom, he lost his curveball, lost the feel for it, couldn't throw it, so he had to find something else. And that's when he started using the changeup and the cutter a little bit more.
Hunter calls time. And Zunino out. The Twins hung 5 runs on the board in the first inning after the Mariners got off to the early 2-0 lead on the Seth Smith homer. Mariners have battled back in this one, though. Down by 2. Seager near the line, and a long throw to first base. Tons of time there. Hunter retired, and Hicks with great speed left stranded at second base. Wilhelmsen finishes up the 4th. We're off to the 5th. All right, Angie, that's a big development for the Angels, Mike, because Mike Scioscia was wondering how much time that he might miss his MVP center fielder.
And since he's been out of the lineup, they've lost 2 games in a row. Time to get him back in there.
Astros back on top of the division.
Franklin Gutierrez having a good night as the DH. Franklin hitting 5th in the lineup, the DH. 2 for 2. He had a double in the first inning, singled in the third.
Hughes nearing 80 pitches.
Yeah, Paul Molitor not taking any chances. Hughes has not been sharp today either. He has guys working in his bullpen right now.
Casey Fiend beginning to loosen up. Check swing, and he goes around. That'll be it for Gutierrez. Now the time is now to join the club as a Mariners season ticket holder in 2016. Whether a full season or 20-game plan, you'll enjoy great benefits. Test drive a seat today when you contact an account executive at 206-346-4001 or just go to mariners.com/16. There is Trumbo, strike one. Last year, Phil Hughes was part of one of the most interesting stories at the end of the season. When you take a look at what happened in his final start of the year with the Twins, as he was over 200 innings, and due to a rain delay, it prevented him from pitching in the 9th. And because of that, Hughes finished the season with 209 2/3 innings pitched. He was a third of an inning shy of earning a $500,000 bonus. Now there were still a handful of games left in the season, but that was his final turn in the rotation. And to the Twins front office credit, they offered Hughes a chance to pitch out of the bullpen. He had such a fantastic year last season, and he turned it down. Trumbo, a high slicer to right. Easy play for Torrey Hunter, and there is out number 2. And Hughes saying in so many words that if it was meant to be done, it would have been done in his normal role as a starter. He just had to get one out. Just pitch one out, he would have gotten a $500,000 bonus. So that probably tells you, I don't know, maybe all you need to know about Phil Hughes.
Maybe with the way that he has pitched for him, that $500,000 will come back to him in the next contract.
A third of an inning shy.
Because of rain.
Because of rain. Not because of performance. 2 outs for Miller. This will be a quick inning for Hughes. 8 pitches, 3 outs. And it ends at top of the 5th. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by AM/PM. Too much good stuff. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Clearwater Casino, so many reasons to come out and play. And by Honda, get a dream deal on your favorite Honda now at your Honda dealer. And plenty of good eats here at Target Field. And only in America, Mike, a man with a silver box strapped to his chest full of hot dogs. Welcome to Major League Baseball, and there's plenty of food to be consumed in buns here at Target Field.
I like the hat.
Thank you.
Striped shirt.
I'm gonna bite it.
I would say you might be the only other guy who could pull that one off, Flo.
Thank you.
Just a guess. Just a guess. I think you could go there, though. Wilhelmsen back out there facing Rosario. Falls behind 2-0. Twins with 3 home runs. They came early. All 3 in the first 2 innings. Dozier, Hicks, and Rosario, a 3-run shot. For the Mariners, tonight begins game 1 of a 7-game road trip. 4 games here in Minnesota, then more interleague play. After just facing the Diamondbacks at home, it's on to Colorado to face the Rockies. And little did we think when we saw the schedule at the start of the season that when we went to Colorado, we would be seeing Jose Reyes. Reyes going to Colorado. Tulowitzki to the Blue Jays. Liner into right field, and another hit for Rosario. This is his 3rd. They have all been for extra bases, and he's on his way to third base, and he's in there easily.
Well, good job by Tom Wilhelmsen backing up the play. So many times you see pitchers not sure which way to go on a hit like that, especially a triple. And no surprise to see the Twins get a triple. They are second in the American League in triples as this goes down towards the right field corner. It's right underneath the padding. It just kind of dies there. Nelson Cruz gets it in quickly. And you'll see the relay, but just too much speed from Rosario as the ball gets past Kyle, and there's Tom backing up the play. So Rosario a single away from hitting for the cycle.
Leadoff man at third. And a first pitch strike to Escobar.
Yeah, Seager and Trumbo both playing in at the corners. Taylor and Miller about halfway in the middle of the diamond.
Big rip and a miss. Some big time heat there from Wilhelmsen, and it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, the Twins at the start of the game today hitting .277 with runners in scoring position. Tonight they are 3 for 6.
Rosario at third, the leadoff triple. Charging, here comes Taylor, throws home. And it's a little bit offline, enough to bring in Rosario. 8-5 Twins.
So Escobar will pick up an RBI, and Rosario, he will score his 3rd run. Take a look at it. See if he takes off right away. I think because the ball was towards the pitcher, he hesitated a little bit, and that gave Chris Taylor an opportunity to throw him out at the plate. But it's a poor throw. And Rosario able to score. If he makes an accurate throw, gives Mike a chance to put a tag on. I think they get him at the plate.
Now 3-run lead for the Twins. Zunino looking down to first base. That'll put Escobar back. Much of a difference, Mike, in terms of an angle or anything for Taylor? Obviously, normally a shortstop playing that ball at second base.
Maybe a little bit, but I think he's played enough second. And once you start moving in like that, Aaron, it is basically something he's done his whole life, and that is field the ball on the run and try to make an accurate throw. Now, he's more used to obviously throwing the ball across the diamond to first than to home, but that's a play. I think he makes that play the majority of the time. Just didn't work out for him right there.
Soft pop up. Taylor going back for it. Here comes Cruz, and it's Nelson to make the catch. 1 out, 1 on, as we'll now take a look at our Geico this date in big league history and the soon-to-be Mariners Hall of Famer coming over from Boston. And we'll talk about littering the all-time leaderboard. Moyer is right up there in terms of a lot of pitching categories, namely in wins, as you see there. And
he was the leader in starts. Felix just went past him in that category.
Just past him. August 8th going into the Mariners Hall of Fame. That'll be a day game. A 1:10 start at Safeco Field against Texas. Should be an awfully nice ceremony beforehand. One out, 1 on for Polanco, an RBI single in his last at bat. Now the Twins have scored in in all but one of the first 5 innings. The fourth was the only that they did not bring a run across. They did strand a man at scoring position. That was Hicks at second base. And Wilhelmsen falls behind 3-0. Dozier on deck, the leadoff man. He's already had 3 at-bats tonight. And a strike there to make it 3-1. Keeping an eye on Escobar. We saw Trumbo there at first base. Trumbo getting the start tonight. Logan Morrison, a deep bone bruise in his thumb. He's pretty dinged up. And a walk to the number 9 hitter, Polanco. He takes first base and pushes Escobar into second. Now, do you live in Alaska? Would you like to win a VIP trip to Seattle? Then all you have to do, and wait till tomorrow at midnight. Send us a photo and story telling us why you are the ultimate fan. That is the deadline tomorrow until midnight. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. 1 out, 2 on. A run in for the Twins in their half of the 5th. And here is Dozier. Dozier, the home run in the first inning. And if you go back to the start of last season, the only player in the game that has scored more runs than Dozier, last year's MVP, Mike Trout.
And this is not the count that you want to be in with a couple of runners out there at 2-0 to Dozier. The thing that we've learned from him over the last couple of years, he is a really good fastball hitter, and he likes the fastball up in the zone.
And that one way up there. That's the second straight 3-ball count from Wilhelmsen, who took over for Happ. Jay did not survive the fourth. He went 3 1/3. Second straight short start for Happ. Up near the top again, but a strike call. Dozier, a former shortstop who has made the switch very successfully to second base. Inside, and he loses him. That'll bring out Zunino. Bases full with one out.
Back-to-back walks for Tom, and the Mariners starting to get some action out in the bullpen. And the switch hitter Hicks, as Rick Waits makes a trip out to the mound. Switch hitter Hicks due up, and then the lefty Joe Mauer waiting on deck. As you take a look at Joe Beimel getting loose in the pen.
Runs in the first for the Twins, a run in the second, another run in the third, and a run in here in the fifth. And this version of the Twins we're seeing tonight is really more along the lines of the Twins from the first couple of months of the season that were so successful. This was kind of the blueprint for Minnesota. Get an early lead and then add on to it a little bit. They haven't been able to play add on quite as much recently, but tonight they've certainly done a pretty nice job of that, and well, adding on to an early 5-run lead. So the base is full for Hicks. And it feels like tonight, every time the Mariners have countered a run by the Twins have come right back and matched it, if not gotten one more.
Well, the one thing about the Twins is they're very aggressive, a lot like the Diamondbacks, who the Mariners just faced. They're 12th in the league in walks, even though they have 2 walks here in this inning. They want to swing the bats.
Doesn't go on the check swing. Escobar at third base. Polanco standing at second. He walked. Dozier took ball 4. He's at first base. Back-to-back walks from Wilhelmsen. One out, bags packed. Put a bite on it outside, 2-1.
Talking about the bullpen, and Tom already had 38 pitches.
Half through. Sorry, Mike.
I was just saying he was able to come on in the 4th, get the final 2 outs, and he's struggling here in the 5th.
2-1 line right field, and a foul ball. A savior. 2-2.
And fortunately, it goes foul. A lot of speed on the bases.
Bases full, 1 out, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hicks, who has 3 hits and as many at bats. Full count. You mentioned the pitch count for Wilhelmsen, and part of the reason why 3 straight batters with a 3-ball count. He's walked the last 2.
I think this will be his last hitter. Again, Mauer, the lefty, on deck, and you have Beimel ready to go in the pen, and Tom's already thrown 40 pitches.
Nowhere to put Hicks. Full count. Hicks cuts right through it. That's a huge strikeout from Wilhelmsen.
We had a big pitch from him. He comes back with a changeup after a number of fastballs to get the strikeout. We'll take another look at it. Here's the changeup, and it was a strike in the middle of the plate, but 88 miles an hour, and Hicks out in front of it. That'll bring out Lloyd McClendon. He's going to make a pitching change and get Beimel.
So Beimel coming on. He'll inherit 3 runners. He needs 1 out to get out of a bit of a mess in the bottom of the 5th. the bases full with 2 outs. They have a 3-run lead. We'll take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Tonight, the first of 4 against the Twins. Final time the Mariners will see Minnesota this year. Then interleague play in Denver against the Rockies. A 3-game set against Colorado, really struggling this year. Then an off day at home before the homestand. And then Jamie Moyer going into the Mariners Hall of Fame on August 8th on Saturday right there. That'll be a day game against the Texas Rangers. Now Tom Wilhelmsen, 40 pitches, 20 strikes to get what turned out to be 4 outs, and he leaves the bases loaded and hands the ball over to lefty Joe Bible.
And for Joe, 32 appearances on the year, a 2.84 ERA. Opponents hitting .255 against him. He's given up 3 home runs this year.
Bases full for Mauer. And a first pitch missing.
This is an interesting matchup. I think when you think of Beimel, a lot of off-speed pitches he locates, and with Mauer's ability to hit the ball the other way again, it reminds me a lot of John Olerud. This is going to be a tough at bat for Beimel to work through.
Now Mauer hits lefties almost identical to how he hits righties. The split's almost dead even. Slicing high. Smith having a run for it to the corner. And a foul ball. Can't make the catch.
Mauer has faced Beimel. So take a look at Seth Smith. He's going to run out of room. You can see there's not much room between the foul line and where the stands are. That goes into the stands. But Mauer 1 for 2 off of Beimel.
Mauer not a big home run hitter, but the splits you can see nearly identical. Bases full, 2 outs. Beimel trying to keep the Mariners in it. Into center field. Jackson coming in. Easy play there, and the Twins will leave him loaded. Beimel inherits 3 runners, and they all stay put. Lead the Mariners right now 8-5. We'll take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next. It'll be Taijuan Walker tomorrow night for the Mariners in game 2 of the series against Tommy Malone, Mike Montgomery, Kyle Gibson, Iwakuma versus Pelfrey. A couple of ground ball pitchers for the Twins to end things. Phil Hughes, Mike done for the day.
Gave up a couple of home runs, but went 5 innings, 10 hits. 5 runs, they were all earned. Didn't walk anybody. No surprise there. 5 strikeouts, 84 pitches for him. Casey Payne will take over. 31 appearances, a 4.60 ERA. High ERA for him. 31 in the third. Opponent's hitting .270. He's given up 5 home runs.
Feen was drafted and developed by the Tigers. Made his big league debut back in 2009. Just a couple of games in 2010. Facing Taylor to begin things in the Mariners' 6th inning.
Taylor 1 for 2, had a double.
And he falls behind fast 0-2. Now Taylor has had some spotty playing time in the big leagues this year, but you look at his minor league numbers and they've really been impressive offensively. It seems to be the case of a young player that has just improved each and every year in the minor leagues, as Hunter flags this down for out number 1. One hop your way home. Take Link Light Rail to the airport for just $3. Schedule available at soundtransit.org. One out for Feen, now facing Zunino, who extended his hitting streak to a career best 9 games with a double to right field. He had the double in the second, and then out near the warning track in right field his last time up. And going back to that last homestand, Mike was robbed at the wall in back-to-back games.
And a couple of times his numbers have been good over the 9 games, and they could really be better because of that. Some defensive gems against him.
One that was surely out, the other one looked like it might have hit right off the top of the wall. Now we're giving a look, but it's into the seats. First time the Mariners are seeing the Twins since late April. The Twins took 2 games out of 3, including the series finale, which ended up going 11 innings at Safeco Field. The way the schedule has worked out this season, and it's not just the Mariners, the same could probably be said about maybe even every team. As Zunino hits a squibber to Mauer, the former catcher, down to a knee for round number 2. It's funny how there have been some teams like the Indians and the Rays that the Mariners will play their 2 series or have played their 2 series against those clubs in the span of, gosh, less than 14 days, maybe 10 days.
Yeah.
And then other teams like the Twins here, where you go a couple of months. From a hitter's standpoint, would you rather face a team with that brief of an intermission, even though, look at the Indians, for example, you have to face Kluber twice in that case?
I would still rather face them quickly. If they're going to be in our ballpark, I'd rather turn around and go to their ballpark, even if it is Kluber, because Kluber's going to be tough either way you get him. But if I had just seen him, I think I have a better idea on what I'm up against. I would say most hitters feel that way.
Seems like the only team in the American League the Mariners have not seen this year is the White Sox. The suddenly red-hot White Sox. They've won 7 in a row. Although Chris Sale getting a little roughed up tonight. But the Mariners will see a lot of the West down the stretch, including the Rangers. The Mariners have not played the Rangers since it seems like, what, late April, maybe early May.
Austin Jackson having a good night, 2 for 3. Has a double and a home run. Scored a couple of runs, driven in 2.
2 outs, nobody on. And the 2-2 to Jackson. On the left side of the infield, Polanco, the shortstop, gobbles it up. Low throw, but Bauer handles it. And the Mariners retired in order in the top of the 6th. We'll go to the home half. Twins lead it by 3. Yeah, how about that, Ange? That was, well, Mike, needless to say, a surprise. You know that this time of year anything can happen, but that doesn't mean you expect it necessarily.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching what happens up till the deadline tomorrow. And get a chance to see Flores a little bit. It was a glimpse, but good-looking athlete. Imagine him able to throw Ackley out at the plate, can run. We'll definitely see what his future holds.
This is Sano leading things off in the Twins' 6th inning. Lines it towards Smith, coming on, and has to play it on the trap. So Sano reaching for the 3rd time tonight, once with an error, a walk, and now a base hit.
Good effort by Seth Smith. The most important thing is keep the ball in front of you, and he does trap it. Able to get to it on a short hop. Bring up the veteran Torrey Hunter. Torrey 1 for 3 tonight. Scored a run, driven in a run. Also grounded out to 3rd a couple of times. Not much of a lead at all for Sano at first base.
Sano injured an ankle a few days ago. In fact, he missed a couple of games, so he's probably not going anywhere. Bible gets strike one to Hunter. Right there to Miller, a bobble, and a flip to get Sano at second base. One out and one on. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners.
It's an interesting at bat. Rosario having a great night. He has a home run, a double, and a triple, so a single away from the cycle for Rosario.
And how many times do you say that it's the single that they need to finish it off? The Twins as an organization have been around for a long time. They have 13 cycles in their history. Michael Kadire was the last in 2009 against Milwaukee. And to give some context to that, the leadoff hitter for the Brewers was Craig Counsell, who is now the manager for the Brewers. That's when their last cycle came. Center field. Jackson doesn't have to move a whole lot. And he is there for round number 2, so Rosario will have to wait. Hunter stays put, 2 outs, and it brings in Escobar. Swipe tag at first base, but right back there is Hunter. Well, this game tonight kind of fits in with some recent frustrating nights for the Mariners from the standpoint of Mariners have 5 runs, which you feel great about, but it has been the pitching lately that has really hamstrung the Mariners. The Diamondbacks 8 runs yesterday, 8 runs the game before, a 1-run lead for the Diamondbacks in game 1 of that series. So run prevention has been a problem at times as of late.
And typically you will see that when you start talking about your bullpen being overworked. 2 things there: 1, they're obviously tired, and 2, they're overworked. The starters aren't getting deep into games.
Shot high to right center. Cruz is right there to make the catch. Escobar gave it a ride, but out to right field, and we are through 6 innings. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Jack in the Box, for a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Glad to have you with us. A gorgeous night from Target Field. Game one of this 4-game series. Game one of a 7-game road trip on to Colorado once this series is over with. 3 games to the Rockies in interleague play before a day off. It's Kyle Seager to begin things in the top of the 7th, facing Casey Fien, who took over for the starter tonight, Phil Hughes. Now for Seager, this ballpark holds some fond memories. Last year, Seager an all-star for the first time in his career, and that game held right here at Target Field. And for Seager, you think about it, your first all-star game, an enormous accomplishment, and maybe a little jittery, but to even add another layer to the storylines for Seager, it was Derek Jeter's final all-star game. And Kyle, growing up, Jeter his favorite player, and there was a pretty incredible moment, and a lot of you might remember from last year's all-star game when Jeter was taken out of the ball game, of course, to a standing ovation to everybody here at Target Field. And as Jeter made his way through the dugout, handshakes, high fives, and hugs to everybody, Seager was, of course, right there. So here's a kid growing up idolizing Derek Jeter, and he's getting a handshake and a high five from his favorite player in Jeter's final all-star game. Good ride out to center, but very playable for Hicks, and there is out number 1.
And little did Kyle know that the year would get even better for him, taking the Gold Glove home.
Yeah.
But that's something. It's his first and Jeter's last. That's
pretty cool.
That's pretty special, yeah.
And when Seager talks about it, obviously he lights up for one thing. But he even said, speaking of Jeter, that he took the time, said hello to his wife, Julie, his son Crew. Of course, Crew at that point very young. He's still young right now, but just a baby at the time practically. And that's a pretty special moment, and one of the highlights, no doubt, for Seager. And the last couple of years have been filled with a number of highlights for Kyle.
No, you're absolutely right. And not real happy right there. Just missed a fastball. He thought he should have done more with.
Cruz singled back in the 4th. That extended his hitting streak to 10 games. 16 hits in those 10 games for Nelson. And Cruz down on strikes, 3 pitches. And 2 quick outs for Fien. Be on hand as we induct Jamie Moyer into the Mariners Hall of Fame Saturday, August 8th. Arrive early for the induction ceremony at 12:30 and be one of the first 20,000 fans to pick up a commemorative bobblehead of the Southpaw. Visit Mariners.com for tickets. Two outs, nobody on for Seth Smith. Mariners 2 runs in the first, coming on 1 swing from Smith. That was his 9th home run of the season. Rolls over a foul ball. A run in the 3rd for the Mariners. Trumbo the RBI. Then 2 runs in the 4th. Jackson going deep out to left center. "21 hits combined tonight between these two teams." Line drive and snared by Dozier. Side retired in order for the 3rd straight inning. Smith hit it hard, but a hit taken away. stretching your body? How about stretching your mind as you consider how Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list? Play today. Glad you could join us here from Minneapolis as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning from Target Field. Got a new pitcher up on the mound for the Mariners as Happ got the start, then turned things over to Tom Wilhelmsen, who handed the keys to Joe Bible. And Bible now gives way to David Rollins here in the bottom of the 7th.
Hard-throwing left-hander. 8 appearances on the year for him. 9 2/3. That's 8 strikeouts. 5 walks. We'll stay away from the walks. High average against him so far, 381. He will get 8, 9, and 1. Kurt Suzuki going to lead off for the Twins. They're in the bottom of the 7th.
Suzuki a single back in the first, hitless since. And Suzuki ahead 2-0. Well, at this stage, if you're Lloyd, you're probably hoping tomorrow night when Taijuan Walker gets the ball in game 2 of the series that Taijuan can at the minimum go as deep as he did in his last start. He went 6 innings against the Blue Jays, but a short start tonight for Happ. And we kind of touched on it earlier, Mike, but it seemed like the Mariners were just kind of starting to get over the short bullpen. And then a short start tonight from Happ.
Right. And it seems that that's kind of been what's been happening over the last couple of weeks for the Mariners. They just cannot get their bullpen at full strength. And when that happens, the other bad part about it, Aaron, is when you get into some of the close games, which the Mariners play a lot of them, it makes it really tough on Lloyd to mix and match the way that he wants to because a number of guys haven't been available to him. So it's been difficult to try to get something done. When you talk about Taijuan getting deep into the game, the other part of that is they need a starter to hold a team down. Things start off pretty good for the Mariners tonight with the 2-run homer. Take a look at our CenturyLink what's next and the pitching matchups. But 2-run homer in the first by Seth Smith. Feel pretty good about things, and boom, the Twins come right back with 5. That's something that just can't have, and hopefully Taijuan will be able to pitch deep into the game tomorrow.
Right center field. Cruz waving off Jackson for round number 1. Now Felix yesterday, it was really his worst interleague start. It was his 35th start against the National League. 7 runs, a dozen hits, both tying career highs in interleague play. There was a Twins reporter who came up to me inside of the Twins clubhouse today and said, well, the first thing I did was check to see if we didn't have Felix. And he said he was so happy to see that Felix threw in yesterday's game. And then his next question was, what in the world happened to Felix yesterday against Arizona? And with that start, the Mariners rotation earned run average is now over 4, as an incredibly surprising struggle for Felix yesterday against an Arizona team that, Mike, in those 3 games against the Mariners looked awfully good.
Well, and I think that the worst part about it is just the timing of it. Felix hit everybody. I don't care who you are. Chris Sale tonight is getting knocked around the ballpark. It happens. But unfortunately for the Mariners, just bad timing overall. And you mentioned the ERA. Mariners now 10th, and we certainly didn't expect them to be anywhere near 10th. Top 5 is what you would expect from them, but that just hasn't happened.
Very surprising. 1 out, 1 on for Dozier. A home run, a walk, ground out, and a fly out. That home run was number 22 this season for the Twins leadoff man. And speaking of Dozier, earlier tonight we take a look at our Big Fish Casino big catch. Brad Miller at the plate. And a nice play there by Dozier. He's had a couple of nice ones tonight, Mike.
No, he has. And this one was back in the 2nd inning. Miller leading the inning off. If he gets a base hit there, you never know what could happen for the Mariners. But Dozier makes that play. It was the same inning that Zunino just missed a home run, hitting it off the top of the wall for a double.
Rollins keeping an eye there on Polanco. One ball and 2 strikes to Dozier. Look at the home run total this year for Dozier, now at 22 with the homer back in the first inning. That is now 1 home run shy of his career high from last season. Heading for a higher average this year. As you look at his counterpart, Robinson Cano, abdominal strain, keeping him out of the lineup tonight. And we mentioned it earlier, but some encouraging news from Lloyd saying that the hope is for Robbie to DH tomorrow. And to put that in context, there was a little bit of question from Lloyd yesterday as to whether or not Robbie would be on the trip, depending on what the MRI showed. So very good news.
No, it's great news, and hopefully everything will go well for him tomorrow.
Swing and a miss. Polanco trying to get into second base, and he's safe. Dozier strikes out. Polanco now in scoring position.
And the second stolen base of the night for the Twins. Hicks was able to steal a base earlier in the ball game. And now Polanco.
Two outs, Polanco at second for Hicks.
He's had a really good night tonight. He's 3 for 4 with a home run, scored a couple of runs.
The Twins have a dozen hits tonight. The Mariners have 10. We've seen a lot of base runners on both sides. Off the plate to make it 2-0.
They're going to put him on. Go after Joe Mauer. So Lloyd going for the lefty-lefty matchup. Hicks again having 3 hits tonight on the season. He's hitting .299. Mauer, who's going to be due up next, .272 average for him.
Now 5 years ago, this would have been the last thing that you would have done.
Well, he won a batting title every year.
Exactly.
It seemed like.
Yeah. Howard's still a good player, but an MVP back in 2009. And he hit .365, top average in baseball that year. So an intentional pass to Hicks. Left on left, 2 outs, 2 on. Mauer a couple of strikeouts looking tonight against Happ. In fact, the only 2 strikeouts from Happ tonight were against Mauer. You can see Mauer and Escobar, the only 2 without a hit tonight for the Twins. Line drive to center. Jackson racing in. As he hold on to it, he shows that he does. And right now they call that he hasn't, and a run in.
Whoa. First of all, he called it a catch, and then he said he did not catch it, and I'm not sure what happened here. It looks as if Austin Jackson caught it at the end of his glove and was able to hold on to it. He gets a good break on the ball. It's sinking quickly. Oh boy, that's going to be close.
Now Lloyd out of the dugout right away.
Marty Foster, the first base umpire,
called it out, and then he changed it, and they're going to take a look at it. But originally they'd called it an out, and then they changed it, and that's why Lloyd isn't happy.
And some obvious frustration there from Lloyd. So they'll put on the headsets.
Now we'll take another look at it in our Alaska Airlines Supermo and the effort by Jackson. And I think it touched the ground.
Right there?
Right there.
Yeah. That's a good angle. Or a bad one, depending on how you look at it. That play straight in, Mike, for a center fielder.
That's tough, and especially on that, the lefty on left with the inside-out swing of Mauer. That ball was slicing, so it was sinking at a pretty good rate. Didn't have a lot of carry on it. It was a good break by Jackson to try to get to it. Just a great effort. And it looks like it hits his glove first, and then it looks as if it touches the ground right there. But again, I think Lloyd unhappy that they called it out at first and then changed it to a no catch.
Everybody looking up at the video board here inside Target Field. And here we go. No catch. So a run in for the Twins. That call confirmed. So Polanco in from second. Hicks, who was intentionally passed, goes first to third.
And with that base hit for Mauer, Escobar the only Twin without a hit tonight.
Two outs, two on. So now we'll pop up off the hands for strike one. And now Eddie Rosario, who is a single shy of the cycle, is guaranteed an at bat in this game. Big rip and a miss there to make it 0-2. Hicks the man over at third base. Mauer, the RBI single at first. Nine runs here tonight for the Twins. And a chance for more with 2 outs and 2 on. Rollins, the third reliever used tonight for the Mariners, will Helmson Bible before him. You can see where that pitch was. Sano fights it off, stays alive.
He's thrown him 3 changeups, 5 pitches, 3 changeups so far. And to foul them all off.
2 outs, runners on the corners. And a ground ball hopping its way to Miller. And the flip to Taylor for the force on Mauer. Another run in for the Twins. We're through 7 innings. Minnesota 9, the Mariners 5. avoided DL stint after that wrist injury. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and a new pitcher up on the mound for the Twins, a former starter from this year, Trevor May. May will take over for Casey Fiend. It was Phil Hughes who got the start.
6-game winner this year, 4.36 ERA, 76 strikeouts to just 19 walks. Opponents are hitting .289. He has given up 8 home runs this year. Franklin Gutierrez is having a good night. 2 for 3 for Franklin. Has a double. See Trevor from Longview, Washington.
Went to Kelso High, drafted by the Phillies in the 4th round in 2008. Has pitched in the big leagues only with the Twins. Made his big league debut last year. The 1-0 to Gutierrez. 1 ball and 1 strike. May with 15 starts this year, but when Irvin Santana came back into the fold for the Twins right around the All-Star break, or pardon me, right around July 4th, it was May who was pushed to the bullpen. Santana dinged for PEDs and suspended for 80 games. Really, it's pretty remarkable. We mentioned earlier how strong the rotation has been for the Twins this year. Tied for the fourth best earned run average for any rotation in the American League after finishing dead last each of the last 3 seasons, and they did it almost all so far this year without Santana, who's really only made a handful of starts. May having to field his position, picks it up with the bare hand, and to Maurer at first base to get Goody. Follow the Mariners wherever you are with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, the new StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or for your tablet. 1 out, it brings in Trumbo. Trumbo swats the first pitch foul. One ball and 1 strike.
Trevor is really throwing hard tonight. 95 miles an hour on his fastball. He's been consistently at 95.
Mark Lowe beginning to stir.
Mixing an inning tonight.
Now both these teams enter this series trying to get things back on track. For the Mariners, you think about that last homestand and beginning things with the Blue Jays. As Polanco, a long range, a skip on a throw, but it's past Maurer's glove.
Yeah, I think it went down into the camera well, so Trumbo will get second base. This would have been a close play at first. Polanco, the young shortstop, able to get the backhand. He gets rid of it. Typically, you're not going to see a lot, but a strong arm in between hop. And Maurer not able to handle it. I think if he catches it, Trumbo might have been called out, but that should be a base hit and an error.
And it is.
Brad looking for his first hit tonight. Mariners tonight 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
going back to that point, you think about the Blue Jays series. Toronto comes to town, and a team that, even though they're at 500, they have been an absolute offensive juggernaut. They've been the best offensive team in baseball in terms of just purely runs scored. The Mariners take 2 games out of 3 against the Blue Jays and feeling pretty good. And then the Diamondbacks stroll in and sweep the Mariners in 3 games. Meanwhile, for the Twins, they lose the final 2 games of the series against the Yankees. They get swept, if you can call it that, in a 2-game set in interleague play against the Pirates. And they have really scuffled since the All-Star break. (3-0) to Miller. And the Twins' chance to win the division is, it seems like at this point, out of the question with the way that Kansas City is rolling. You can see what's happened tonight. Offensively for the Mariners, a lot of hits, 11 of them. And Miller will draw the walk. Well, that was close. Kind of a slow exit there from Brad. And here comes Chris Taylor. That's the first walk given out tonight by a Twins pitcher. Trumbo at second, Miller at first, and here is Taylor. Now, earlier we started talking about Taylor's minor league numbers, and he's a career .315 hitter in the minors over parts of 4 seasons, including just about 50 games with the Rainiers this season, where he's hit .289. And quickly 0-2. And for Taylor, it's probably pretty tough to try to get that average on track in the big leagues when you're just not a regular.
Right. Well, that makes it difficult, and especially in the minor leagues when you're used to playing every day.
Trumbo at second base. Mays 0-2 pitch, and he gets Taylor swinging.
Take a look at this last pitch right at the top of the strike zone. Little cut fastball in the outside corner. Bring up Mike Zunino. Mike extending his hitting streak to 9 games. Had a double his first time up. 1 for 3.
This is really the first time in Trevor May's career that he's been used out of the bullpen. 10 appearances last year, 9 starts. Big rip there, 95, and you think about the velocity adjustment for a starter who then gets put in the bullpen, and they say, let it air out for an inning or 2.
Well, and he's doing that last fastball again at 95 miles an hour.
Two outs, 2 on, 2 strikes to Zunino. And boy, pretty impressive there by May. It's Taylor on 3 pitches, the same as Zunino, and the Mariners trying to Kimball. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Team Store fan. Dream Stakes contest is going on for just a few more days. When you stop by any of the 5 Mariners Team Stores to sign up, you're automatically entered to win one of 10 tremendous prizes, including authentic Mariners apparel, a photo with the player, or even the chance to throw out the first pitch. So stop on by a Mariners Team Store to enter. Mark Lowe taking over for David Rollins here in the bottom of the 8th.
Mark has really pitched well this year. Good fastball. He'll be 95 to 97 miles an hour with the slider. He'll get a chance to pitch an inning. It's been talked about the bullpen a lot, but Mark in his last few outings has had to pitch a couple of innings at a time. So he's needed some time off, is able to get it, but tonight going to work for an inning. It will be Hunter, Rosario, and Escobar due up for the Twins.
Hunter an RBI single, a run scored back in the first inning. And he gets some chasing on the first pitch. The Twins have scored in all but 2 of the first 7 innings here tonight. And a strike there, 97. And it's quickly 0-2 on Hunter. Smart 0-2 pitch there, Mike, off the plate.
I think so, and he's done a pretty good job of that for the most part, especially with his slider. Sometimes his fastball, when he tries to throw it away or throw it off the plate away, will run back. That's cost him a few times this year, not a lot.
Hugging the ground to Taylor. Out number 1.
Boyer and Perkins, the closer Perkins, getting loose in the pen for the Twins.
That brings in Eddie Rosario looking for the cycle. He is only a single shy. 3-run homer in the first, a double in the third, and a triple in the 5th. It has been since July of 2013 since the Mariners have allowed a cycle. In fact, the Mariners had 2 cycles hit against them in 2013. It was Mike Trout in May, the first of his career, and then Brandon Barnes of the Astros. Big rip and a miss at 98, and it's 0-2.
He's made 1 out tonight, and that was a line drive right at Austin Jackson in center field. He's really swung the bat well, chasing that last pitch.
Line drive, and it's caught by Miller. Rosario will have to wait for another night. History taken away by Brad Miller here in the 8th.
And we'll take another look at this, how close he was to the cycle. Wow. Good play by Brad.
It would have been the Twins' first cycle since 2009. And you don't think Rosario knew what was up?
Their entire dugout knew it.
This whole ballpark did. What a play by Miller. Keep in mind, Rosario made his major league debut in May. This is not a guy that's been around very much.
Let's go.
Played in nearly 25 games this year in AAA. And as Escobar at the plate now 0-2. Missing to make it a ball and 2 strikes. New baseball out to low, trying to go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 8th.
He's not only throwing hard, and he's topped out at 98, consistently 97 with a good slider, but he's throwing a lot of strikes. 11 pitches, 9 strikes from Mark. So he is going right at the Twins.
When we get to the 9th inning, it'll be the top 3 due up. As you can see, Rosario and Aaron Hicks talking things over after he was robbed of the cycle by Brad Miller. And the story for Rosario this year really began in his first at-bat in the big leagues, a prospect that was called up. And the very first pitch that he saw came from Scott Kazmir, who now has one of the best ERAs in the American League, and he took it out for a home run. Homered on the first pitch that he saw in the majors. Loses the bat, gets a piece. And Escobar wants to tighten things up a little bit. He's making low work.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and Martin's throwing him a lot of sliders. Throw a good fastball on the inside corner. Everything else has been away, and didn't get the call. It looked as if it was a strike. Mark Wegner has really had a tight strike zone tonight.
Zunino wants it low. Big swing and a miss. Tied him up. Gets him with the slider and low. Retires the side in order. That is the first time the Twins have gone down 1-2-3 tonight. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Mariners down to the final 3 outs, and here comes the Twins all-star closer Glenn Perkins.
29 saves on the year. This is not a save opportunity for him, but he's really pitched well. That's a good fastball. He'll be in the mid to upper 90s with his fastball, hard slider.
Now, Perkins has been one of the best closers in the game this year. He leads the American League with 29 saves. He has been nearly flawless One-time starter in his career, and now Perkins an all-star each of the last 3 seasons. And to tell you how close this game was at one point tonight, when Austin Jackson homered to left center in the 4th, that brought the Mariners within 2. It was 7-5 Mariners, but the Mariners have not scored since. As Jackson takes a leadoff walk, and he's on at first base. Now what Perkins wanted to do, the Mariners will take it. That's only the 6th walk all season allowed by Perkins. How many free passes? And his first walk since June 30th.
Well, he typically just comes right at hitters. He has a good fastball, 95 to 97 miles an hour.
Dozier, double play ball, flip to Polanco on the first. And the Mariners down to their final out. Leadoff walk quickly erased. And it's up to Cruz. Cruz singled back in the 4th. That extended his hitting streak to now 10 games. Perkins now in his 10th season, all with the Twins. Off-speed pitch there to make it 1-1. Perkins was actually a starter for parts of 2008 and 2009 before moving to the bullpen. Twisting pop-up. Mauer, foul ground, and that'll be it. Twins win game 1 in convincing fashion, 9-5. And Mike, the storyline is kind of similar to what we've seen lately. Enough offense, but the pitching just not there.
That's really the way this month